Okay, so guys, you are welcome. Today's session we are looking at list, which is part of a data structures. And this is Darko Labs. As I said, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to follow me, and don't forget to go to our YouTube. Always the recordings are posted there for you to consume. We also have a community we have built, which is a Discord community, and this is the community where you can learn a whole lot of things. You could see everything is well structured on the Discord platform where once you land there, we have a welcome note for you. And all the rules, the rules, the announcements, the introductions, and what you need to learn in terms of the track and everything is well structured there for you guys. Thank you so much for joining this community. And today we are going to look or we are going to dive into what we call data structures. And in our first data structure topic, we are looking at lists. Okay, we are going to look at lists. So what I'll do is, as usual, always I tell you, don't forget your virtual environment should be working. Okay, please don't hesitate and don't worry. If you have any question, kindly post it in the comment section whilst I go about teaching. And once we are done, you have the privilege to request and come up, and we can have a fruitful discussion. Today is Friday, and I'm all yours on this particular live. So I have all your time. Let me finish teaching, and then once I'm done teaching, you guys can come up and we can go through the code with any question that you guys have. Okay? All right. I'm not going to bombard you with a whole lot of stuff because data structures, when it comes to lists, I have to take my time and take you through little pieces. So today, that is what I'm going to do for you guys. And don't forget, you need to have this particular virtual environment created. Okay, I'll zoom a little bit for you guys to see everything clear. Please, if the screen is okay, kindly type in the comment section yes, so I know we are all on the right page. Yes, so you guys think it's okay, right? Okay, all right. So now what I'm going to do is always don't forget, don't worry about these requirements and tests. I always use it to test when I'm trying to come live. But the key thing is your virtual environment. Make sure your virtual environment is created. Make sure the Anaconda stuff and all that, the paper and all that, we've done it here. When you follow that YouTube video, my previous video, I showed you, okay? Now, what we are coming to do here is we want to have a new terminal, which I have already. So we want to create a new notebook, okay, which I always show you. So what you do is either you right click here or you come to here, new, and then you just say list. Okay, we are going to learn list today, which is one aspect of the data structures. So list dot, I'm taking my time, guys, I don't want to rush. Okay, so list dot, so look at how I am creating the notebook. Okay, this is where I told you if I was a data analyst by now I'm using Tableau, or by now I'm using what do we call it, Power BI and all that, or any other tool like big Looker and all that. But here we are doing everything with code. Okay, so list dot, then we type IPYNB like this. So the IPYNB is an extension telling the VS Code or the Visual Studio IDE. So when we say IDE, all that we mean is that it's an integrated development environment. Okay, so we are telling the VS Code that this particular file or this particular script name I am creating is a Jupyter notebook. So I want it to be a notebook for me. And already VS Code has that kind of integration. So all you need is just add the extension like this and you are good to go, because you also have the virtual environment created. You will be good. Now let's look at the next step. The next step is for you to hover to the notebook that we just created. Okay, when you go to the notebook that we just created, all you need is to come here and then select the kernel. You could see we have something we call select kernel. Okay, so when you click here on the select the kernel, you could see currently I am seeing the virtual VM environment, which is a virtual environment. Here, that virtual environment we created, remember in my previous video, I told you it can be any name depending on the project you are working on. Okay, but currently we are just using virtual environment for our basic Python training sessions. Okay, so I've already created this virtual environment, and if you have any issue, guys, kindly go and visit my YouTube video. Okay, YouTube video, which it has everything explained there for you to understand. Thank you. So what we will do is we will select this virtual environment. The reason why we need to select this virtual environment is because we want to make sure that this particular virtual environment, it contains all the libraries, all the dependencies, all the packages, all the installations that we need. So we don't need to come here, okay? We don't need to come here and start installing them one by one. We've already provided them here, and then we can use it anywhere, okay? So I will come here and then I will select my virtual environment. All right. So once I select this kind of virtual environment, you could see it is now selected, and we are using Python 3.12, which is the current Python version we are using. I'm trying to take my time, guys. Okay. So this is how it is. Now, for us to be able to, let me take this one a little bit down. Okay. Now, for us to be able to know that our virtual environment is working, let's test it and see before we start the session. So I'll come here and I'll say A is assigned to 10. Okay. So I'll say print A. All right. So if it's able to display the result, which we should get 10, right? Then it means everything's working properly for us. So I'll come here. So it means everything is working properly for us. So now, guys, we can begin to learn today's session, which is data structures in terms of lists. Okay. Now I'll close this, I'll delete it. Now, for you to be able to create a cell, okay, in this particular notebook or using Visual Studio Code, what you need is to understand these three buttons. We have generate, we have code, and then we have markdown. The markdown helps you to like give a heading for your notebook or your analysis. So I can say it like this, which will give me the font size will be much bigger. If I use the 2, it will be reduced. If I use 3 like this, it will be more reduced. You understand? So all you need is, let's say we need a header. So we say we will say data structures. Okay. So we will just say data structures. Okay. Data structures, and then hyphen, we will say lists. Okay, so when we run this, we should be able to get the header. You see, it's as simple as that. If we want to reduce it to be more bigger, like this, we mark it, and then you see, if you want it to be more bigger, then we do the same. You see how bigger it is. So that is how the markdown works. And here you can write a lot of sentences. So for instance, if I want to add any sentence here, I could say I could add so many things that I want to add here. I could type anything. I could say list. I could just write anything. You understand? I could just write anything here that would tell me, okay, I'm dealing with list. So I can say lists are, let's say, ordered. Lists are ordered. Okay. Let's say they are mutable. Okay. They are mutable collections of items. So you see how I'm trying to explain lists for you? We're using markdown. I'm not coding, I'm not writing any code. I'm just trying to explain what the list, when we say list in Python, what is it about? And I'm saying that lists are ordered, okay? Lists are ordered. Let me add the S here so it becomes more, the sentence is really good. So lists are ordered mutable collections of items. You see? Please, let's like the live and share, because sometimes when there is no comment and all that, TikTok tries to show up like there's inactivity. You understand? Good. So you see, I only use this markdown just to write this. So this is mostly my advice for you guys is when you are working on any analysis, try to have a markdown. Try to have some kind of headshot whereby anyone who picks up your notebook clearly understands what you guys or what analysis you started or you are trying to do. You understand? So that's why I'm saying that today we are going to work with lists, and I'm trying to explain to you that lists are ordered mutable collection of items. Okay, I end there. I can go ahead and say they can contain So I'm trying to explain to you what lists are, okay? And they can contain items, okay? They can contain any items of any data type, right? So they can contain items of different data types, okay? Sorry, there are. So they can contain items of different data types. So you see, now we are clear on lists. We don't need to do anything. We don't need to go and learn anything. Just learn this. Lists are ordered. So when we say something is ordered, it means they are being arranged in an orderly manner. Lists are mutable collections of items. They can't change in order. They can contain items of different data types. You understand? So data types, when we say data types, all that we mean is data type could be int, float, string. You understand? So that kind of data type that we learned in our previous session or learning class, you could understand that when we say data types, all that we mean is data type could be a variable character, it could be a string, it could be an integer, it could be a float, and all that. So we are saying that list can contain items of different what? Data types. I hope this is clear enough. Now, once I think I'm done with my markdown or my intro section for anyone who will see my notebook to read, then I'll just check on this. Or I can double click again and then use shift enter. Just press on shift enter like this, and you still get your markdown correctly structured. Or you can just use this mark, okay? You mark like this and you are good to go. You see how it is? Data structures hyphen list, and you see how everything has been structured for me in the notebook. And remember, I showed you can reduce the font size by making it 2. You check again and it reduces a bit. Thank you. So now let me take it back to 1 because I want you guys to see it well. Okay. All right. So now we are clear on list. What do we do? The next thing we are going to do is, let me show you how creating a list looks like. Okay. So here, because I started with markdown. Whenever I run this, okay, my next code shell will be a markdown, but I will tell the notebook that I don't want it, and it's being handled by VS Code. So I'm telling VS Code I don't want the markdown as my next code cell. Okay, so in my next code cell, I want it to be a real code cell and not markdown cell. So I'll just delete this so I can select a code instead of the markdown. So I'll select code here so I can write code here. And here you already know how we comment. So I want to show you how you can create creating list. Okay, so I'm showing you how you can create a list. Okay, how do we create a list? All you need is, let's say we have LST, which will be our list. Okay, so when we have LST and we want to assign a list is like this. So now let me take you through here. This is very important. Okay guys, LST, we know is a variable name, isn't it? Which we know. Now we know how we create variables in our previous sessions. Good. Now LST is a variable name. Now when we say this particular open and close square bracket, this open and close square bracket is telling us that we have declared a variable or assigned a variable to an empty list. This particular thing means that we have an empty list. Okay, so this is an empty list, and now for us to be able to understand this empty list, let's see the type of this particular thing that we've just did here. So we can have another code and say and say, let's say, okay, let's just print it here so we don't waste a lot of space. So let's print, inside the print, we want to print the type of this particular list. Okay, so what is the type? Type 2 is a method, so I need to bring my open and close brackets again. Then I'll just put in the variable name. Okay, so list. So you see how the thing is, print into bracket. Into bracket is print is a method or is a function in Python. So print, inside the print, I'm saying that I want to know the data type, okay, the type of this particular list. the type of this particular list I have created here. So I just want to understand. Then I'll just use Shift Enter. So you see that the class is what? Type. Okay. So it's telling us that what? Type. So I need to, oh sorry, I used list instead of lst. I didn't type the right variable name. That's why. So we see the class is what? A list. So it's telling us that this type of list we created here is a list. Do you get the concept, guys? This type of thing I just created here is confirming to us that we're using print type lst, is confirming to us that this particular thing I assign here, variable with empty closed square brackets, is a list. Okay, now all that I need to do is, okay, if it's a list, then all that I need to do is I want to add some elements in that particular list. So I want to add elements here in this particular list. So I will come here and then I will say, let's create a, now you know how we create a list. So let's say we have names, okay, and names we assign it to a list. So inside our list, let's say we want to have different data types for the list, because remember I showed you here that they can contain items of different data types. So here I can pass a string like Dennis, okay, Darko, or I can just pass a string like Dennis, okay. I can pass, I will say comma like this. I can pass another string like, let's say Darko, okay. I can, please, if you can hear me, just type in the comment section. I just put my distance a little bit down so I can focus on the keyboard. Okay, so Dennis is a string, Darko is also another string. So let's say let's put another one, Bismarck. So I didn't bring the bracket. So let's say Bismarck. Okay, all right. Now Bismarck 2 is another string, isn't it? Now let's change the data type. I can say comma, I can say 1, I can say 2, I can say 3, I can say 4, I can say 5. So here basically we are just using two different data types. We are using a string and we are using what? An int, which is integer. Okay, so all that I need to do is just come here and say print. What are we printing? What are we printing? The variable, which is names. Okay, so we are printing this list. So once I run this, okay, with the help of this print, I should get the results to be all these things in the list for me. So all that I need to do is to run this, and I will see Dennis, Darko, Bismarck 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so if you understand how list is being created and how you can add an elements to a list. So this is how we add elements to a list. Okay, we can have mixed, like as I said earlier. Now currently we have mixed data type. We can still continue to have mixed different kind of data types. Okay, so for instance, let's add float and all that. So we can have, let's say, let's define our variable. Let's say mixed underscore list. Okay, so mixed underscore list is equal to, then let's say that this mixed underscore list, we want to store different type of data types in that particular as elements in our list. So in a list contains elements, and those elements can have different data types. I hope this is clear. In a list, we have elements, and those elements can have different data types, guys. Okay, so take note. Now I bring my square bracket. Inside my square bracket, I am going to add my elements, and my first element will be, let's say, what do we do? Let's say it's not going to be a string. Let's say 1. Okay, and then let's say another one will be a string. I'm trying to mix it, guys. Let's say hello. Okay, and then let's say another one will be let's say 3.14. Okay, and then another one will be, let's use boolean. You guys know boolean. So when we say boolean, it's either true or false. Okay, when we say boolean, it's either true or false. So let's use true. All right, Do you have a training class, please? Yeah, we have training class. That is what we are doing now, my dear. Okay, and we have a Discord platform which you can visit. Check my bio. The YouTube link is there, or the Discord link. If the Discord link is not working, click on the YouTube link, go there, you see the Discord, or you can hold on, follow the session. When I'm done, I'll show it to you. All right, so guys, we have a mixed elements in our list. So you see, one is another one element, hello is another element, 3.14 is another element, true is another element. The true is a Boolean value. When we say Boolean value, we mean true or false. In Python, Boolean values are true or false. Okay, in Python, Boolean values are true or false. So we have a mixed variable, mixed underscore list. This is our variable, okay? And this variable, we are saying that in the list we have elements 1, hello, 3.14, and true. Now, when we print this mixed element, okay? So let's print, then we bring the variable mixed, okay, mixed list. Now, when we bring this variable, when we print this, it's going to display the entire elements in this particular list for us, right? So let's print and see. Shift enter, then we print. Now, when we print, we are seeing 1, hello, 3.14, and true. Okay, so that is how we create lists in Python. Just get this concept clear before we move to the next one, the next session. Now I'm saying that we have creating lists, and first we created an empty list, and the empty list, we wanted to understand the type of this particular thing we have done here, and it tells us that Python tells us it's a list. Now we move on to the second session where we wanted to add elements to this particular empty list. Now for us to add elements, we were being specific on what we are doing, so we set a variable name called names. So this is a variable name, names, and then for this variable name we assign it to a list, and assigning it to a list, inside the list we had elements. So you will see the elements, the individual elements. Okay, these are all individual elements, and we wanted to print the list to see that yes, truly we do have elements in our list which this particular variable is holding and storing in our memory for us. It could be stored in a database, which we are not yet there, we will get there. Okay, it could be stored in so many places, but currently we are storing it in an empty or in a memory on our computer, where at any given point in time we will refer to this particular variable and query that particular result out. That is why in the process of querying or bringing the results out, we use what we call the print function. Okay, we are using this print to query the result out, and in the process of getting that, we see the result here. Okay, and that is how we create a list, and we can add elements of different data types to this particular list. Good. Now, so these are all different data types. Now let's look at how we can access these individual elements. How can we access it? Okay, now I'll come to another code block. Now let me have a general discussion on list. What we are trying to do and what I want you guys to understand is, list is more like, take it as if you have a database, okay, and in that particular database it contains a lot of things, and that thing, sometimes you need to access different things based on the variables or based on the column or the rows that particular thing is. Okay, so that's the same approach, and for you to understand database properly, you need to understand list concept. Okay, that's what we are doing here, so that you know that, oh, I store this particular thing in memory and I want to get it out, or I want to see it again. That's the same concept. You store something in a database, and sometimes you want to query those data out and see what is happening. That is the same thing. Okay, guys. Now let's look at how we can access what list elements. So now we are going to deal with list elements. So now we know elements. Elements are the values or the data within a list. So these are all elements. Okay. These are all elements. Good. Now we want to see how we can access these elements. Okay? We want to see how we can access these elements. How do we access them? It's very simple. So let's create another different list. Let's say fruits. Okay? So we want to have some different types of fruit in our list. So let's say fruit is assigned to, then we bring our empty list, and then now let's give the fruit a name. Let's say the first one is apple. Okay? The second one is banana. Banana. Okay? And then the next one is, let's say, one name cherry. Let's give, like, trying to mention some kind of Canada fruits. Okay, guys, let's give another name. One name should we give? Guys, bring it out. Let's say Gaba. You can type the names and I'll type it here. I just want 5 now. Have 4. Well, yes, the last one, mango. Good, mango. Okay. Now you see, we want to access the list elements. So let me make the English one. Accessing list elements. Okay. So accessing list elements. We want to access the list of these elements. Now, for us to be able to access these things, all we need to do is, in Python, we call something indexes. We use index to access list elements. Okay? And in Python, the index starts with what? 0. Let this stick, guys. In Python, we access using indexes. And index starts with what? 0. Good. Now, we are saying our index starts with 0. So we want to access this element or this list we've created. Okay? Now, for us to access, all we need to do is we can just print. Okay, let's print inside. Remember, always when you want to use a particular method like print, you need to bring the bracket open, bracket close. So it's just like this: print. I need to bring my bracket open and bracket close before I can type anything inside the print. Okay? All right. So now inside my print, what I'm going to do is I just want to access this first element. And for me to access this first element, I need a variable name and then the index of this particular first element. Is that clear? If it's clear, let me hear yes in the comment section. If it's clear, let me hear yes in the comment section, guys. Okay, good. So I'm saying that this is my variable, and this variable, I am storing some elements in this particular variable. And the way I am storing these elements in this particular variable, I am storing it in a form of a list. And now, with this list, I just want to be able to access each individual element. Okay? And now I want to access this first element. How do I access this first element? And I'm saying that for you to be able to access this first element, all that you need to do in Python is use the index. And in Python, index starts with 0. So let's start. So it means that the index of apple will be what? 0. And then the index of banana will be what? 1. Index of cherry will be what? 2. Index of guava will be what? 3. Index of mango will be what? 4. Now you know the index of her. So what do? You come here, you use the variable name fruits, okay? The variable name fruit. And how do we access it? We access the elements using the same square bracket. I just bring the square bracket like this. And then now, instead of me using the name of the element here, exactly here, I am not going to use that. I'm going to use the index. So let's say I want to access apple. Apple index will be 0. Sorry, I pressed 0. Sorry. So apple index will be what? 0. Now, if I run this, okay, I am going to get the result of only the element apple, which is part of this list in this particular variable. So let me run this here. Fruits. I think there's a spelling mistake somewhere. There's a spelling mistake somewhere. Okay, let's see. Name error. Name fruit is not defined. Yeah, so it means I spelled the fruit wrongly. So fruits, Fruits, Fruits. But then why are we getting? Okay, sorry guys, I didn't run this. Sorry. Yeah. So name error means that there has to be, we have to define the variable, and already I've defined it, but the only thing is I didn't run. The mine is going faster than the code. So let me run this successfully. Good. It's checked. Then I'll come back again and then I'll run. So you see, now I'm getting apple, which is the index of 0. You see? If I want to get, okay, so now let's type in the comment section. I want to get GABA. What will be the index of GABA, guys? What will be the index of GABA? 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so let's put 3 here. 3. Let's run. Good. So you see, we have the index of GABA to be 3. What will be the index of mango? So of course, it will be 4, right? When we run, we are going to get 4, mango. So you see how we assess elements in a list. So in Python, this is how we assess elements in a list. It's very simple. So if you want to access all of them, we just start with 0, okay? So I can just copy this like this, right? And I'll be pasting them. So they are 5, right? I'll be pasting them like this. And then I'll just change here to be 1, here to be 2, here to be 3, here to be 4. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So when I run, I should see all of them. You see? Guys, you see how we access lists in Python? So it's very simple. All you need to understand the logic behind it, and I've explained it clearly for you. Okay? Let's say, assuming we want to get let's check something. Assuming we want to print fruits, okay? Fruits. I already have it declared, so yeah. So fruits, let's say we want to access only like this. So let's say what would this give us? I'll explain later. So you see, it means that we are saying that we want to go to the list, and we want to access only the index of 1, no index of 0. You get a concept here? We don't want to start from 0. We want to start from the index of 1. So that's why you are seeing this is 0, this is 1. So it will start picking from only banana to mango. Okay? Because sometimes you don't need all the data, you need specific data. So all you need is to just print fruit 1, then you bring the colon. If I remove the colon like this, okay, and it will print all. It means that here and here is really important. The left of before the colon, and then the right after the colon is very important. It tells us that can we print all of them in a single line code? Yes, that is what I did here. In a single line, yes. So all you need to do is here. So let's do it for you to see. So all we need to do is here, we just do like this, comma, then we bring this thing again, okay? So here will be 1, okay, comma, then we bring it again like this, 2, and then again, comma, we bring it again like this, 3, okay, comma, then we bring it again like this, 4. Then we run. So you see, it will only display this because we are trying to just print only this and this. So it means we are not getting the rest. Okay? So what we can do is, let's do another way. All we can do is just remove this and then we'll get error. So it tells you that you cannot print in that particular line unless you structure it like this. Okay? Like this. Then once you run, it should be good. Okay. Now, let's move on to the next one. Please feel free to write your comment. That's why when someone wrote, I try to test it for the person to see. So now we are saying that both the left and the right, you need to be careful. Okay. That is why when I put 2 here, okay, it's going to start from the index of 2, which is 0, 1 to cherry. So when I run this, I'm only going to get cherry, guava, mango. Apple, banana will be out. Okay. All right. Now, let's say, so let's say this is one. I want to remove banana. I want to start from banana, no apple. Let's say I want to get. Let's say I want to get let's say I want to get banana and cherry. Okay, so banana and cherry, then fruits, and then inside I will say I'll first bring my colon. Now, once I bring my colon here, banana and cherry. So let's say 1:3, right? Banana and cherry. So 1:3. So now let's run this. So you see, I needed only banana and cherry. So banana, I said I want to start from 1, index of 1. But you see, 3 is not cherry. Take note. 3, index of 3 is what? 0, 1, 2, 3. Index of 3 is GABA. You see? Sorry. Index of 3 is GABA. But do you know why? I wanted cherry. I wanted banana and cherry. So I said I'm starting from 1. Okay, pick the index of 1. I need it, but I want to get to only the index of 2. But for me to tell Python that I want to get to the index of 2, I will first need to add a precedent, which is 3. So that is why I'm putting here 3, but it will pick 1, the index of 1, and then the index of 2. So when I run, I'm only going to see banana and cherry, but GABA was index of 3. If I want to print GABA, I'll put here index of 4. Okay, mango will not be printed. So you see, GABA will be included. Okay, so that is some of the tricks you should be aware of when you are trying to get some data. Okay, so now let's assume we want to modify any of these lists. Okay, let's say we want to modify any of these lists. So let's look at how we can modify in a list. Okay, so modifying the lists elements. Okay, let's look at how we can modify list elements. Okay, so now let's print our variable, which is fruit. So now we know our variable apple, banana, cherry, guava, mango. Now let's look at how we can change, let's say, cherry. Okay, let's say we want to change cherry to, let's say, what should we change to? Type in the comment section. What fruit should we change cherry to? What fruit should we change cherry to? So we want to change fruits. So you see how I'm doing a fruit. And what is the index of cherry? 0, 1, 2. So index of cherry is 2. And let's say we want to change the index of cherry to anything. So what should we change cherry to? Strawberry. Okay. So let me just strawberry. Okay. So it's a string. So I put in a string, right? And I'll say strawberry. You see? So I have changed. I'm trying to, when I run this, cherry will be replaced with what? Strawberry. Okay? What is that? Print fruit -4. What does it mean? Okay. Print fruit 1 4. Okay, maybe you are doing your own thing. Okay, it's fine. I don't want us to be doing like going on a different, or we want to follow a structured approach. All right. So fruit is 2 equal to strawberry. I'm just trying here. What I'm doing is I want to modify. Please, so when it comes to these explanations, when you have any question, when I'm done, just come up, okay? I'll let you guys come up, then we can go through each. I want to finish the class, then you can ask all the other questions, okay? All right, thank you. So keep it, we will explain, don't worry. So now what I want to do here is, I want to modify cherry, okay? And you guys said I should change cherry to strawberry. So you see how if I want to change cherry to strawberry, all that I need to do is I will say fruit, which is the variable we assign to the list, which is fruit. Okay, I will say fruit, and fruit is a list. So for it to be a list, all that I need to do is let me cut this so you guys. So when I say fruit, I need to, because it's a list, I just have to bring the open and close square bracket, and inside it I bring what? What will I do? Inside it, I'm going to do what? I'm going to bring the index of cherry, which is 1, 0, 1, 2. So the index of cherry will be what? 2. Okay? And I want to replace it or modify it. So I just say equal to. Then I'll bring, it's a string. So strawberry. Okay? So strawberry is a string, This is a string. So I need to put in the double quoted marks. And then based on that, once I run, cherry will be changed to strawberry. So let's run. Okay, so now let's print. Let's see if it truly changes. So let's print fruit. Okay, let's print. Let's check fruit again. So you see, previously when we checked fruit was this. There was cherry. Now when we set this code and modify it, now fruit is cherry has changed to what? Strawberry. So that is how we modify or we change a particular element in a list by just using the list variable name and then the index of that particular element and then equal to, and then you replace it with it. The same thing applies if, for instance, I had let's say numbers, okay, numbers to be equal to list, and then I had 1, 6, 9. Oh, I'm using full stop, comma. Okay, if I have this as my list and I want to change or modify 9, okay, all that I need to do is come here, okay, and I will just say what? I will just say fruits. Hey, sorry. I will just say numbers, okay. Then I bring this. What is the index of 9? 0, 1, 2. Oh, okay. Guys, sorry, I think there was a little network hitch. Can you guys hear me? Please, if you can hear me, kindly type yes. Oh, okay. Yeah, guys, sorry, I think there was a little technical network. Is it clear now? Okay, can you hear me now? Yeah, I think there was a little network issue. Okay, we are back. So what I was saying that this was basically on strings. So let's see a little. Can you hear me, guys? Okay, okay. So let's say these are integers, okay? And let's say let's say 9.7 float numbers. And so we see we have integers and floating numbers. Now let's say we want to change the index of 2, which is 0, 1, 2, the index of this particular element to a different one. So here it will be 2, okay, and then equal to, then we are switching. So instead of 9.1, we are saying we want 2.5. So when we print, oh sorry, So when we print numbers, okay, so when we print numbers, it will first run this and then go through this and then come to the last one. So let's see. Okay, so you see 162.5. But first, let's see how it was done. So you see, when we run this, we get 16. So let me print numbers. Print numbers. Okay, all right. So you see 169.7, and I'm saying that when we want to modify, all we need is just change this. Okay, numbers is 2. The index of this is 2. So 2.5. You want to change 9.7 to 2.5. Then once we run, we should get 162.5. We can change the index of 1, okay, to let's say 3.0 or 3. Let's say 3. And when we run, we'll get 132.5. You see? So that is how we modify list elements in Python. Okay? That is how we modify list elements in what? In Python. And it's as simple as that. Okay? Let's look at the last one. Then tomorrow we will dive deeper more into the list. Okay? Let's look at the last one. Okay? Because something I wanted to show you this, but should I let's look at how we can remove and add elements. Then we are done for the day. So let's look at how we can remove, okay, and add elements. So we call it list methods. Okay, and for list methods, let's look at how we can add an item, okay, to the end of a list. Okay, let's look at how we can add an item to the end of a list. Okay, so all that we need to do is let's use our fruit. So let me first print it. Okay, fruits. Okay, now we have the fruit here. Now we see we are using strawberry. Okay, now for us to use our fruit, now we are going to look at how we can add item to the end of this particular list. Okay, so what I will do here is I just need to say that, okay, fruits. See how I'm trying to append or add an element to the list. Yeah, everything is well structured on the Discord. Kindly take your time, read everything about the Discord right from the welcome page. Okay, and if you have any issue, don't worry. Once I'm done with the session, I will take you through the Discord here, so you see how it is being structured. Everything is well structured there, per what the question you are even asking. So guys, I want to add another element or another item to the end of the list. Okay, so what I need to do is bring the list variable, which is this one, fruit. Okay, and then fruit dot append. Okay, what am I appending? So I'm appending another item to the list. Okay, I'm appending another item to the list. So I will say fruits dot append. And what am I appending? Yes, type in the comment section. What should we add? What fruit should we add? What fruit should we add? Grape. Okay, grape. Okay, so now I bring grape here. So fruit dot append grape. Okay, so once I have fruit dot append grape, then all that I need to do is just print it. Print fruits. This time around we are adding, so we don't need to bring the square, open and close square brackets. Okay, all we need to do is just print the fruit, which is the variable holding our list elements. Right, so once I run this, we should get apple, banana, strawberry, guava, mango, grape. You see the grape we just appended or we just added. So this is how we can add an element or an item to a list. Okay, so right now if I run fruit like this, I should see the grape part of it. So you see, so it's more like in a database we insert, we delete, we remove. So now let's look at remove. Okay, let's look at remove. let's say for instance we want to, let's say for instance we want to remove the first element, this one. Okay, let's say we want to remove apple. So removing elements. Okay, so let's say we want to remove the first and removing elements. So what we'll do here is, so fruits dot, okay, we use the remove method or function. So remove, remember if we want to add, we use the append method, and inside the method we pass our argument or our parameter here. This is our inside the argument we pass our parameter. You see the concept? The moment you open a method or a function like this, inside the function or the method you pass your parameters. Okay, and that will serve the method or the function that you are passing some kind of arguments. Okay, so the same thing applies here. Fruit.remove, we want to remove something, and remove is a method, so we bring out brackets, and inside our bracket what are we removing? So what should we remove, guys? Type in the comment section for me. So looking at our fruits, what should we remove? Okay, Sami said, what if we want to append to specific position in the list? Okay, what if you want to append to specific position? We will come to that, don't worry. So what should we remove, guys? Gava. Okay, someone said Gava. So Gava. So we are removing Gava. So let's print. So print fruits. Okay. So now you see apple, banana, strawberry, mango, grape. There's no Gava. We've removed Gava. You see the difference? So that's really good. So we are trying to make sure we add, we remove. So this is how we add and remove items or elements from a list and to a list. Okay? Yeah, you can remove with the index, but mostly because it's now no more part of Python 3.9, so we use the method. That's why you are seeing me using the method here. Okay, and you just pass the element, but still you can if you want to use, then you have to repeat it like this. So let's say like this. Okay, inside, then we repeat it again, fruits like this, and then you bring the element. So what is, so let's say we want to remove strawberry, which is index of 0 1 2, index of 2 like this. So when we print fruit, let's see, so you see strawberry is off, but this is not proper programming. Okay, but it's a good question though. Yeah, it's a good question. So can we remove with the index number? It's a good question, because I'm trying to teach you guys proper programming. So, all right, so it's a good question. So you know, you don't want these kind of repetitions, no. So what you do is just pass the element if you know. And sometimes when you have heavy database, you need the data or the variable name and all that. Okay. All right. So can you hear me? I don't know whether my network is good. All right. So that's how we do it. Just use the method of fruit dot. Guys, is the network back? Can you hear me? Yeah, okay. So I think I had a call, that's why. So Gava, oh, why are we getting, let's remove it. X is not in the list. Oh yeah, yeah, I forgot to remove it. So I need to change this one. So let's say mango. Okay, all right. Okay, so this is how we add and remove a list in. So someone said, what if we have Gava in the list twice or thrice? So that is data error. So it means if you add it twice, you need to remove them. That is where we call something data cleaning. Okay, you need to remove them. It's duplicates, right? So, and I don't think most data will allow those things. So if you have those kind of case, it's all about you using the remove. Okay, you need to remove them. All right. Yeah. So I'll end here for today. And if anyone has any question, you can request and come up, and then